Thank you for tuning in to Indie Star Insider. We go behind the scenes to get to know independent artists from around the world. Let's get to know this week's Indie Star. On this week's edition of Indie Star Insider, we are lucky enough to have Clare Cunningham joining us. We are promoting her single, Feeding the Beast, and we're going to get to know, a little bit more about her as we do. Clare, how are you?
I am awesome. Thank you so much. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great. We're just having the time of our lives. It's the best thing to be able to do this. So, and great to talk to you. We have a lot to unpack and not a lot of time to unpack it. So I thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to give us a little bit of insight on you. Let us get to know you a little bit. Is it a gig that you have coming up, if I understand correctly?
Yeah. So I have a studio here today. I'm taking a small break, and then I have like a showcase type thing. So
man,
always on the go.
Oh, especially. Yeah, the hustle is real, especially during COVID. The hustle has to be real. You have to do everything you can. So let's start off. Let's start off with your history. When was you grew up in Ireland? Is that correct?
I did. So I was born and raised in Cullen, County Louth. It's kind of sandwiched between Dublin and Belfast, a little tiny village in Ireland. Kind of stayed there until I was 18, and then I just flocked away to the UK. I spent 3 years following that in London. Moved to Cardiff, Wales for 5 years after that. Mm-hmm. And then I found myself living I was based in Stockholm, Sweden, but kind of toured all over Europe for the next 5 years. And then today marks my 3-year anniversary in America. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. First of all, I want to ask you a question. My wife is going to Ireland in September. She's taking a solo trip. Do you have one place she should go? One place not to miss? I
always suggest people to kind of visit the West Coast. Like, everyone raves about Dublin, and don't get me wrong, Dublin is nice and it's got a lot to offer and it's a lot of fun, but honestly, Galway is probably my favourite of all the counties. There's just, and you'll hear it in many songs like Galway Girl and Galway Bay. There's just, to be honest, there's so much beauty in Ireland. It's hard to just pinpoint a place and one thing because there's just so much to see and do in each. But,
absolutely.
Over the west and southwest and Aran Island, like you can get a boat from Galway. And, they're just like, you're like stepping back in time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, sending her out there for 2 weeks on her own. Because she needed to get away from all this mess around here with COVID and our kids running around during school and pets and things to take care of while she's working. She deserved a break, so we're sending her away for 2 weeks. I
hope she gets there because they're locked down like heavily right now until at least March again. So, But, I guess it's a guessing game, really. Like, when you're traveling, you just have to be prepared that it may or may not happen nowadays,
Right. And, everything's refundable and whatnot. But, we want to get her to Ireland because her family has the surname McInerney from, I think it's County Clare, actually. And I'm speaking to a Clare, and she's from County Clare, and so she wanted to kind of dig into her roots a little bit. So we're looking forward. She's really looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to taking care of 2 kids on my own. Yay!
Yay!
So
fun times, man, fun times.
She needs it though. She works hard. So, what made you leave Ireland at the age of 18 to go to the UK? Was it pursuing your music, or was it something else?
It was. Well, actually, so when I was 18, I left my home place, but I actually lived in Dublin for 2 years. So I actually studied, I went to like the rock school in Dublin. It was the Ballyfermot Further College of Education for Music. And so after that, then I decided, not that I needed it, because you don't need a degree in music to be a musician, but
right.
it was always just to have an education and to have a degree behind me. So I decided to get a Bachelor of Arts in music, but I did that in UK. There wasn't really many options in Ireland. Plus, I kind of, coming from a small village, I always felt like I needed to expand more, so I knew I was going to have to leave in order to do that, really.
Ah, okay, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, a lot of it happens in the States here. People from the Midwest, for instance, know that if they don't hit a coast, if they don't get to the coast, either Los Angeles or New York or Florida or somewhere where there's, a body of water near it, they're not going to be heard very much. So, so there's that out here. And so you just kind of spread your wings. One thing I notice is that European and Australian parents are very, the word is they're very supportive of their kids for the most part when they want to just go somewhere. Like Iggy Azalea, for instance, at 16 said, "I'm going to be a rapper. Bye." And she left Australia to go to New York. It's worked out for her. Were your parents supportive of the move, or was it kind of like, they're just kind of like, well, you do what you want? Were they kind of hesitant? Were you hesitant? What was the story there?
Yeah, actually, I have everything, I guess, really to owe to my parents. And I always say that when I tell people, like, you look at any successful person, it's usually because they've either come from hardship and left and then make something of themselves, or they've had the support, and it makes it a whole lot easier just to have that and to be able to feel like you're doing the right thing. So I'm glad you asked that, because I think a lot of people don't realize, especially with music and with everybody else around me, the noise up around me saying, "Oh, you need to get a real job," or you're wasting your brains, because school didn't support the move. Like, they loved me doing what I did, but when it came to actually the grind and actually leaving, my last bit of education, they were like, "Yeah, I think you're making a mistake."
Yeah.
So they actually called my parents in, to which I only found out about like a few years ago. And they said, "We really think your daughter's making a mistake. Maybe have a word with her." And they just laughed. My dad was like, "Hey, she's going to do what she's going to do, and we support her. She's happy, we're happy." And they've done it all down through the years. And I owe everything to that, because nothing is like getting a good foundation for, what you have to do. And, and people don't see the bigger picture. Like, they'll see, and look at what 2020 did. It's true. There is no stability, but is there stability in anything anymore? So,
No. Yeah. And
yeah.
When you have a son or daughter that is a free spirit, you know it as a parent. Our 10-year-old is a free spirit, and we know it. And I mean, she's a free spirit to the point where she forgets to like brush her teeth. She just kind of like, so we're trying to get her into this like routine, but she is such a free spirit. I could see her doing something like that, saying, "Hey guys, I'm leaving and I have to go and do this," and we would support her. There's just nothing else you can do. Awesome. Because hey, things are going to happen, things happen in your very, like, if a parent is like, "I want my child to be safe. I don't care if they're happy. I want them to be safe." Things will happen in complete safety. So why not take the risk? Why not have them do what they're going to do and just send them out? So bravo to your parents. I mean, your parents are awesome people, it sounds like.
Well, I do believe that if you try and retaliate or make somebody do something they don't want to do, you're never going to get a proper result.
That's right.
You'll probably get them to go into the education. Will they survive at that job? You're actually causing more mental health issues for a child if you're forcing them to do something that's in your dreams. Because a lot of parents and a lot of people force kids to do things that they wish they had done themselves, or they want the kids to just be like them. Yeah. Because they're afraid of losing the one thing that they have as their identity. So,
our kids
kudos to all the supportive parents out there.
Our kids are our kids are their own people. I don't I don't need my kid to like, be what I wasn't, although she does do radio shows with me. But that's more time, that's time. She wanted to do it. She said, "Can I do a radio show with you?" I said, "Sure." So it's kind of lined up that way, but I agree. If you try and make a kid do something, they're not going to do it. They don't want to do it.
They'll do the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They'll do the opposite to spite you. So you had this stream of music. When did it begin? I mean, were you a toddler dancing around your house, or did it come later in life? I mean, when did it start for you?
Yeah, it actually did start really, really young. I think I was around 3. I want to say 3.5, and I think Santa Claus bought me some microphone that was on a little stand. It was a toy thing, and I was singing into that. And I always had a love for music, I guess, because I came from a very musical family, not a professional music family, but the love for music in our family and in our culture is very strong. And then I think it wasn't until I turned around 6, we were all in class, and we had what's called our first communion. It's part of
Catholic.
It's like a ceremony. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, we all had to get up and see who was the best singer for the part that was in between the 2 prayers. So I got the part. Apparently that was me, sorted. So it kind of spiraled from there because I got the support then from the teachers, and then they were like, "You need to, you're really good." And so I guess, and then I just took up keys. I was on the piano, and then I was self-taught guitar then by the time I was 16. I'm not a guitarist by any means, but, it was just, people are always kind of like, I've even seen in quotes now, "I'm guitarist, Clare Cunningham." I'm like, I am not a guitarist. I never claimed to be a guitarist. What I know, the limited chords that I know well, and I just have a good rhythm behind it, but that's about it. I'm not a guitarist.
Right. So who were you inspired by as a teenager when you started to really by the way, that church story is so common across every single genre of music. Even if they're not still practicing the religion, they point to that as a real starting point. Like, I was in choir, or I was singing in church.
Right.
It's a huge thing. So when did you start to craft what you liked, like your own style? When was that?
Gosh, again, because I span so many styles, that shows even in my childhood, I think, because, being in Ireland, I was so used to listening to a lot of Irish folk music and a lot of music like you guys, you get all the typical songs, the pub songs or the drinking songs, but there's a lot of songs and a lot of artists out there that even America has never heard of. And so there was always that side that I was highly influenced by. But then Ireland, I guess, have their own country scene too. Mm-hmm. So I'm not, I don't associate myself with country music per se, but, I did grow up on the likes of Garth Brooks and John Denver and older, styles of country. And then rock and roll was a massive one, We were big AC/DC fans, T-Rex.
Yeah.
It was really, really varied. So as far as influences go, they really do span. And I think that's why maybe as well my style is a mix of everything.
Eclectic, absolutely. Because music comes in every chord. Music comes in every type of chord, as long as it makes sense and it's not complete and utter noise and it's pleasing to the ear. It is music, in my opinion. So we that's why we play everything. I mean, we play everything from EDM to classic, to crooners we play everything here because good music is good music. So
and then you've got a wider audience. Then you're not just if you're just a rock station, which is perfect, that serves. It's like an artist who only does maybe a particular style. You'll only ever really reach the capacity of that audience. Whereas if you do span a little bit out, our radio station does, then you've more listeners because there's more diversity.
Right. And that also kind of kicks back to, like, if you're a rock station, you get hardcore rock fans. If you're an eclectic station, you can get fans of every genre, but then it's up to the program director to present it in a way. But I could go on in that. But
Yeah.
but continuing on your journey here, you went to the UK as, I guess, were you busking? Were you hitting gigs? Were you hitting pubs? What were you doing?
Oh, yeah, no. So when I moved to Cardiff, I set up a band. We were called Smoking Aces. Very 70s, 80s classic hair band type of rock and roll, you know.
Sounds
so we
like
had our own material. It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
But we had that, but we also, that was my absolute day and night job. So we ran the band, myself and guitarist Jamie, and we did corporate events, functions, wedding, like you name it, we did it. So we traveled up and down the UK, and we literally, as a two-piece as well, worked 7 days a week. There was 1 year we did 394 gigs or something. So
wow.
We were doing doubles, triples. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like, looking back now, probably because I was younger, I was able for it, but I was so hungry to just, you know, and we started from nothing. Like, I remember walking into, like, I had just moved up to Cardiff, and I said, right, the way in the door is we're going to lie our asses in all the places. So I just said, hey, walked in literally everywhere and said, hey, we've been playing a long time, which wasn't a lie. Like, I've played, but not professionally to that level. I said, look, if you like us, why don't we do a free show for you? And if you like us and you want us back, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And word gets around everywhere.
Yes.
Wherever you live, and if you're a good musician and something, people catch on, and it really did. Like, it got to the point where, you know, we were booking like 2 years in advance, and it was just, it got a lot then.
That's amazing.
But, you know, it was a lot of hard work. I look back now and I think, you know, that was really, like,
insane.
To just start something. Yeah.
Insane is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
But it's those artists. Yeah. It's those artists that make it, though, because what a lot of people don't understand, they see the success, but they don't see, like, the grind, the 7 days a week, like you said. No. And every artist who's successful has had to do that. So you have to respect anyone who's even reached a minor level of celebrity, because they've had to push that. It wasn't handed to them on a silver platter.
Oh,
there's a lot of work that goes into it. That's why I love this station, because, you know, it's just full of hustlers, myself included. We're all hustlers. We're all trying to make a name in the game. You know, we're all trying to do something, and it's just it's a good group to be with. You know, just people, hardworking character people. So I take it Smoking Aces broke up.
Well, actually, I thought that was it. You know, we were going strong, and we were starting to look at even getting small deals ourselves with our original material. And then the phone call came from Sweden. That's what kind of changed everything. So, you know, for anybody who knows my past, knew I was the lead singer of a heavy rock band, all female in Sweden, called Thunder Mother.
Oh,
and the long of that was, they just basically, actually, it's so funny because of Smoking Aces and Smoking Aces duo, myself and Jamie, one afternoon, people kept asking us, you know, I wasn't on YouTube at that time. That wasn't a thing really back then. And so I remember people continuously asking, hey, do you have any material? Can we check you guys out? We went on word of mouth, you know, we were busy enough that way, and we had booking agents and stuff. So I said, hey, listen, we better get some videos online just for examples of our work. Put those videos up, they curated, and one of them just started to gain a bit of popular, like, attraction, and it was AC/DC Highway to Hell, my version of that.
Nice.
The band in Sweden saw, so quick phone call over to me, and it kind of just escalated. It was like an overnight change. of life. But I had to make the travel over and back in the UK to Sweden for a whole year and a half. It was it was so fun.
Well, here's the thing. I hate to bring this up, but that's why I do good interviews. What happened to Jamie?
At Chicken Salad Chick, our fan favorite Delicious Diva is back. With bright notes of fresh dill and crunchy cucumbers, it's bursting with flavor. And bring on spring with our seasonal strawberry and pecan salad and key lime pie. They're both a little sweet and a little tangy. Available for a limited time only. At Chicken Salad Chick, every order is made with care. And with online ordering options, we've made it easier to enjoy Chicken Salad Chick however you feel most comfortable. Available in-store, in the drive-thru, or online at chickensaladchick.com for takeout, curbside, or delivery where available.
So Jamie and the boys ended up kind of going separately into their... So I fulfilled a whole year and a half after that with them.
Oh,
so
okay.
Basically, when I got the phone call to go to Sweden, it was them that said, hey, you can't give this up, because I was being offered to open up for Motorhead. So I was like, oh, I think...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, me being the kind of dedicated person I am, it was hard because I had, we had weddings that I booked 2 years in advance, so there were 4 couples I had to make that call to.
Oh man!
I made sure I sorted them out with a decent band in our place, but
yeah.
So I did fulfill work with the guys, but then it just because my plan wasn't to just up and move to Sweden. I was just going to try it out, but then we got signed with Warner and things started escalating really fast with the girls. So I knew I had to make that commitment. So the boys, Jamie still plays. He's amazing. He tours up and down the UK with big, these tribute shows.
Oh, yeah. Make a great living.
Oh my God. Yes. And it's, personally, the monotony of something like that, I couldn't, because I like a little change of scenery.
Right.
But it's a fantastic way. And the guys kind of all, played in a few separate things, but the guys also had day jobs. So myself and Jamie didn't. That was our baby. So it's crazy,
That's crazy. So opening up for Motorhead, you probably met my friend Steve, who was Lemmy's right-hand man. He was a Hispanic dude who was always around Lemmy, if you did see him. It was just,
There was, so we had Victor Marin was actually the guy he's actually, I think, he might be Spanish Mexican. I'm still in contact with him. Yeah, he was one of theirs too. We ended up playing with Mickey D. Lemmy ended up sick for the gig, so he didn't end up doing it. But we played with Mickey D, the drummer in King Diamond, and a few other things for a collaborative super band type thing. And Bill Campbell and myself had been over and back about me doing a record on his stuff. So they were amazing. And Lemmy was a fan. He used to play us on the tour bus and stuff. He's so cool.
Yeah, Lemmy was. I mean, I got to know Lemmy by osmosis. My friend who was his main guy. I mean, he was his main tech. He did everything for Lemmy, and he would tell me just all these stories about Lemmy. What a great human being Lemmy was, and just how just he was straightforward and to the point, but his heart was always in the right place. He was always doing good. And I don't think that was seen very much because his music was considered to be somewhat evil by closed-minded people. And he was just one of the best people in the world. Now, you got all this success up in Sweden. What happened after that? You had a record deal maybe with Warner, you said. And then what happened? Well, what happened?
Right. So basically we were touring a lot. And people were seeing the all the posts and life looked amazing, but underneath it, there was a little, there was issues in the band and there was a bit of unhappiness there, because
tension.
It's like people, and people don't necessarily always get the see that side. So to be honest, like as far as the whole thing went, I was so super grateful for the whole experience of it, and it brought me everything I needed to go forward. My plan was never to go to Sweden in the first place, but I thought that was going to be it. Like we seemed to be pretty set in terms of going creatively and going musically that way. But the four of us, myself and the four of the girls, decided it just wasn't happening anymore for us. So, and it wasn't an overnight decision, and nor was it an overnight move, So, it was really sad, because I knew that was going to be it then. So in my head, I knew a year beforehand. So I had started looking into, okay, well, what's going to be my next step here? Because I was never a solo artist. I'd always been in bands,
Yeah.
So that was a very weird feeling. And I was I guess that's why when people are like, they say, oh my God, but you do all this and you're great and you're this, that, and the other. And I think I forget, like I'm relatively, quote unquote, like new as an actual solo artist. And
yes.
And I guess I still have to, you don't just learn to accept like, oh yeah, this is great. It's been a work in progress with myself, critically so too.
Yeah. Hustling. That's all you're doing. And you're making decisions that are right for yourself. So many people stay in relationships, not just business, but relationships where they're unhappy. They're completely unhappy. And they know the reason why, and they just stay there because they're comfortable in their, in their little warm pile
and
of crap.
And it's easy.
And it's easy.
Well, too many humans are, I think it's the biggest cause of why people suffer anxiety, there's mental health things, because people don't want to make change. People don't like to feel out of place or uncomfortable and that's the majority, unfortunately, of people. But if you want change in your life and you want to make a life, you want anything in this life, you gotta make those decisions, those sacrifices, and you have to feel uncomfortable. Like taking 2 suitcases and moving to a country you don't even have had any inkling with. Like, yes, I look back now and I think, God, I was brave. Like leaving my home initially, moving to another country initially, and this was the time when we didn't have FaceTime or anything. Like, it was actual phone calls. Like, it was, you really, when you left.
Exactly.
So it's just crazy. Like, but you have to do it. If you really want something or you're hungry for something, you'll make anything work to make that happen.
Absolutely. So speaking of big moves, what made you want to move to the States?
I always loved America. Like, from a kid when we used to visit, I used to vacate in America. Then my sister, Laura, she moved over to Nantucket. Well, she was over and back for the first few years, but she's there now 10 years. I would always go and visit her. There's just bigger and better. I was always attracted to the whole kind of scene here. And I know there's many different scenes, but I just found people were very open and, as a culture too.
Just huge.
Can get annoying, but we are loved as well as Irish in America. Like, people it doesn't matter what you've done or who you are, you're instantly liked. It's so weird.
How many comments have you gotten about your accent?
Oh my God. But you know what? It's like, I don't know if it's the microphone or not, but as of lately, like, people are like, so are you from Michigan, Minnesota? I'm like, nah, I'm from Mississippi. And then the room, like, people will look, but they'll actually believe it. And I'm like, oh God, guys, come on.
God.
But Canada, Australia, and Scotland do get high guesses, but the Irish thing, it's weird because, we are born with this accent, so we don't think anything of it, don't even feel like I have an accent. And then when people comment continuously on it and how amazing it is, it's like somebody coming up to you going, "Oh my God, I love your accent." Like, I don't know what to say anymore. I'm like, thanks, I guess.
Yeah.
Made it
It's like,
myself.
yeah. It's like pointing to your feet. They're like, "Oh my God, you have two of them." It's like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It's just a part of you, you know? So,
But yeah, it's a weird conversation sometimes, but yeah.
That's crazy. So how has music been, recording music in the U.S.? Have you been getting along, especially during this COVID time? Has it been a rough time for you, or has it been a more creative time for you?
Yeah, so actually COVID kind of worked in little ways to my advantage, in the sense that I got a small break from doing the live thing. And then I was still able to write. I actually got some great songs out of it, to be honest. You know, a lot of emotions had come up at that time, and so some of those songs, even including the one I'm releasing a song next Friday called Watercolor World. It was meant to be written prior to COVID. COVID hit, so we got a way better song out of it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was able to record too. Yeah, I was very blessed because I lived on Music Row too, so I was able to, you know, as the whole thing was going down, I had just actually, I was blessed with my band, everything. We had the tornado, and then I happened to just have the three tracks that I did with my team at RCA ready to go, so I was just able to go in and out and fix any vocal things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, we were, you know, because it was, you could still, like, at the time as well, it was weird because we were going through all those periods of, like, shutting down, not shutting down, closing, social distance, but, you know, it was always indoors. We were always safe, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was able to. And then as soon as bars or places, you know, started showing that, you know, people could come back in, it was weird, but I had a lot of big shows and festival things, and, you know, everything had gotten cancelled, so it was hard in that respect, for sure.
Absolutely. We are promoting a track called Feeding the Beast. Can you tell us a little bit about that track?
Yeah, Feeding the Beast, I had half written, I want to say, years and years ago. My idea behind it was that everybody suffers in life with a form of addiction. And addiction, I think when people hear that word, they always think, oh, alcohol, drugs, you know, and it comes in so many different forms. Shopping could be one, you know, doing anything above the normal when it starts interfering with your daily life is an addiction, when you depend on something. And so I knew, and I love to study mental health, and I do talk about that a lot as well with people, like the neurological science behind how we run and work and trauma and stuff. So I decided I was writing that song, and I kind of left it. And then there's an awesome guy here, good friend of mine and co-writer, Joel Jorgensen. And he's a rock and roller, man. He's killer. So he had said, hey, like, we should definitely try a track together. So when we sat down, I said, well, I kind of had this idea. But he just transformed it. We rewrote some of the lyrics, and that's what came about with Feeding the Beast. So we kind of we never recorded it though. We do what you do, a lot of writing sessions, song is written, and then you kind of just lay it low. And I knew it was Addiction Awareness Month coming up on last September. And because of COVID, I said, hey dude, do you fancy maybe if we could get even a rough recording of it, putting it up and releasing it? So he got together a quick acoustic version of it. I went in, did the vocals, and like within the week we had it up. And we kind of liked it a lot, and so did a lot of other people. So that's when Joel decided to do a full production on it. So we released the deluxe version a few months after that then. So yeah, because I like to touch on subjects and show people that me too, like this isn't me singing about other people. Like I I think it's important that people know that my songs and a lot of my material comes from a place that they are or have been themselves. So I can relate 100%, you know, and I think that's really important when it comes to music.
Absolutely.
You know, you're not preaching at people. You're showing them your pain and suffering, but that you too can also overcome. If I can, then you can, you know.
That's an awesome message, and I think it reverberates through society a lot more than people would like to admit, and they can listen to your song and they can feel some kinship with you and know that there are people out there that are going through the same thing. So where can people find you on social media, and where can people buy your music?
Yeah, so basically, I always just suggest my website because all my links and everything is up there. But that's www. And it's my full name, so it's Clare Cunningham, Cunningham, music.com. And literally whatever platform you listen to music on, there's a link there. There's a link to my link tree too. But, you know, other socials, it's just at Clare C Official, and that's Clare C Official. So that'll get you the Instagram, the Twitter, the Facebook like, and all the goodies.
Yep, all the goodies.
Yeah, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, Apple. They're, you know, all my material is on there, and a very exciting project I'm going to be releasing finally because people have been begging for it. I'm going to be doing a Celtic EP with my team here in RCA Studios. So, yes, and I'm going to re-release my baby. I call it Éireann and McCree. It's the one that everybody, I kind of close out all my shows, and it's been my biggest... I don't know, there's something with this song, and I'm just going to re-release it because it deserves a better production this time around, I think. So we're gonna get on that, and it's gonna be very exciting. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Sounds like you're moving in the right direction. We're very happy to have you associated with Indie Star Digital Media, and we thank you for taking time again to share your story with us here on Indie Star Insider. Feeding the Beast from Clare Cunningham on this edition of Indie Star Insider. Thank you so much, Clare.
Thank you guys for the support as always, and just wishing every listener out there, you know, safety and happiness and love, and you guys too. And thanks for the support, all of you. Thank you.
The voice inside my head, I swear it wants me dead. It counts to haunt me, wants me every day. Can't seem to shut it off, can't seem to cut it off. It's just my state of mind, digging my own grave. I keep feeding the beast to numb the pain inside. I keep feeding the beast, and I don't want to die. No matter what I do, no matter how I try, I am running out of time. I keep feeding the beast, come and save me. Every pill, every bite, every sip and every lie feels so good in this rut. In too deep and now I'm fucking stuck. I keep feeding the beast to numb the pain inside. I keep feeding the beast, and I don't want to die. No matter what I do, no matter how I try, I am running out of time. I keep feeding the beast, come and save me. come save me, come and save me. I've done my best, I need the rest. I keep feeding the beast to numb this pain inside. I keep feeding